Well, it is April 1st, and this is not going to be a Fool's Day. I will talk about this, and I guess I'm going to have to edit this video super fast and put it out on my channel. Because here's the deal, man. As you get older, we don't have time for tomfoolery anymore. I could be, concocting an entire, ridiculous post, ridiculous video, tricking people and having a big laugh. I've done that my entire life. I can say this, what I used to do on April 1st, Facebook, right? Every April 1st on Facebook, I would always post, I've got an incredible audition today. Everybody wish me luck. I'm going to be auditioning for Culture Club, or something. One year it was Kajagoogoo. Kajagoogoo's going back out on the road, and I've got a big audition with Kajagoogoo. I can't wait to get to play Too Shy with the guys, and I've got a big audition with Depeche Mode. I can't wait to go out on the road with Depeche Mode. And you know what, in all respect to those groups, Kajagoogoo has some amazing bass playing in that band, and I actually kind of like the song Too Shy. It's amusing, the hairstyle and the whole presentation, but respect to all of those groups. Hey, they made it, and there is that. I just don't think, I think the funny part of it is seeing me, it's my ugly mug, playing in a group like that. I think that's amusing, right? There's not going to be any, it's not going to be me selling some imaginary pedal that does nothing, or maybe a fart pedal. I've seen that one year. Some guy posted a clip of him playing through a fart pedal. As you get older, man, we've got less and less time for tomfoolery. We got less and less time for jokes. And part of the reason why I stopped posting these ridiculous gig, auditions and stuff every year, every April Fool's Day, I stopped doing it because my older parents and stuff like that, older family members would be posting, how did the gig go? Did you get the gig? And, this kind of stuff. And I realized, man, for them, this was, very real. They thought it was real. They weren't, realizing it was April 1st. And I would get, get these posts. I really hope you get the gig. And here's the thing, man. Any gig you get, you got to be thankful for. To go on the road and play with Kajagoogoo, there's no laughing matter. It's not a joke. And the same with Culture Club or Depeche Mode. Man, those bands have thousands and thousands of fans. And while they may not be your cup of tea, or they might not be something that you would hear my guitar playing in, they've earned their place in history. They've earned their place. They've earned their success as musicians. And so for me to make light of that, maybe it's not the best taste. But I got a kick out of it. I did get a kick out of it, and I think it's funny, But who was there? I think one year I did Flock of Seagulls. I can't wait to go see a stylist and get my hair styled, and I'm joining Flock of Seagulls. Look, there was a lot of bands like that. I think the part about the music business, and the music business maybe not trying to sell extreme musicianship, If everybody had to play as good as Jeff Berlin or Victor Wooten or Alan Holdsworth or Al Di Meola, if you had to play that good to make it in the music business, then a lot of us would never have a chance. We would never have a hope. And I think maybe, is it Frank Zappa that had said that the music business is about selling, beer and trucks and, cereal and, whatever else. And it's not about selling greatness. It's not about virtuosity. It's not like maybe the days of classical music where virtuosity was rewarded. Perhaps society is dumbed down now. I don't know. I don't have all the answers, but I think the one thing that gave many of us hope in the music business is seeing people that we regarded as, well, wait a minute, I can play as good as that guy. The singer for Flock of Seagulls, and he was playing, piano or playing keyboard with one finger and then lifting up his other hand and playing the next note with the next finger. I can remember sitting at home watching MTV with my buddy, Jeff Zamora, who was the keyboard player in my band. And we're watching this guy, and we're like, look at that guy. We were listening at the time. We were listening to Jerry Lee Lewis and all the, Stu from the Stones and all the guys that played that boogie woogie style. We were into that rock and roll, that old school rock and roll sound. And so he was working on trying to play bass lines in the left hand. And then, the lead Chuck Berry style, Jerry Lee Lewis style piano stuff in the right hand. And then you see this guy on MTV and he's singing about Iran or the physical act of it, not the actual country, but he's singing a song called Iran and playing keyboards with two fingers. And you go, man, I could do that. And there were a lot of groups. There were a lot of groups like that. Some bands had great musicianship. Some bands had great songs. Some bands had a great image. Some had it all. Much fewer had all of those things. You had a lot of groups, like a guy like Christopher Cross, who had great songs and could play guitar great and sang, great. But then when people saw what he looked like on the Grammys, I can remember that, and it was that the late 70s? All of a sudden people were aghast because this beautiful voice and these amazing songs that we've been hearing on the radio all this time, it's that guy. He doesn't really look like a pop star. He doesn't really look like a rock star. And then maybe that's where the concept of video killed the radio star. Maybe that's where that came in, right? Because all of a sudden, when you had to shoot a promotional video that was going to get aired and played in millions of homes across the country, when MTV came out and was playing those music videos, and we weren't listening to the radio anymore. We were coming home and we were turning on the TV and we were watching MTV. That's the one channel. I know people that were into music, whether it was the Wooten brothers or my friends and people that I hung out with. MTV would go on. If there's a house party, MTV goes on. if, you wanted to listen to music or you wanted to study, but have something on in the background, MTV was on. And that was most of the people that I knew, man. And all of a sudden, man, you got to see what these people look like. A lot of stars that had been stars and successful. A lot of them, now you're seeing them on MTV. And some of them looked good. Some of them didn't. Some of them looked weird. And some of them didn't. And, it was changing of the guard. Nowadays, man, I guess with the internet and I guess with Instagram and all that, people see, just like with MTV, people see you, but they see you for very brief, short segments. I don't know if anybody's, are you listening to an entire 3-minute, 4-minute video? I know people that watch this channel, a lot of people. My retention levels are above average. People are watching the entire clip, but we're mostly guys like me that are watching this channel. Mostly people that have been through it and have lived through the MTV generation, and before that, having just the light of the radio dial and maybe whatever pictures they decided to put on the album. That's the thing. When they could control the image back then, you could do a photo shoot and anybody can take one. If you take 1,000 pictures, right? Anybody could get 2 or 3 good ones out of that. It's very rare that somebody could shoot 1,000 photos or 100 photos and not get one good one. And so whether it's lighting angles, I remember just recently watching a Gary Moore music video, and the whole video, they kind of shot him from this side only because he had that scar on his face from a barroom brawl, right? Barroom brawl. And all of a sudden you're marked for life. And so, man, the music industry, they want to sell pretty faces. They want to sell, nice sounds. They don't necessarily want to sell something that's going to make people feel inferior. And so when you see a musical group and maybe you go, the musicianship's not that great. It is what it is. Or maybe it's just a great song. Maybe that's why. A lot of what we saw, we weren't seeing virtuosity. We weren't seeing amazing talent, but we were seeing an entire presentation, an image, a sound, and a song. And that was probably all it really took to make it. There's no April Fool's joke today. Life is very real in the back nine. And I wish everybody an amazing April 1st. Because guess what? It's the 1st of the month. And that's another reason to be motivated. Another reason to do everything the best that you can.